Hi, I'm Will. I work for the Texel Sheep Society and I'm going to show you how to take a DNA sample from a sheep by using a nasal swab. This is a very easy and effective way of obtaining DNA from a sheep, and before we get started it's very important to firstly ensure that your sheep is on the request sample sheet for animals to be tested, and ensuring that you wear gloves before you start and changing gloves in between each sheep. And then once you're done, remember that the swab needs to be correctly labelled with the animal's ID, which is on the U as well as on the request sheet, and then putting the swab back in the envelope and returning it to the correct address pre-printed on the envelope. So first things first, we check to see if the tag number of the sheep is on the list of animals requested to sample. And you can see there that it is. So we then take the swab out of the packet and then take the swab out of the tube, and we make sure that the end of the swab doesn't come into contact with anything apart from the inside of the animal's nose. So whilst the animal is restrained, we'll put the swab into the animal's nose, ensure sufficient contact is made between the swab and the side of the animal's nose for at least 5 seconds. Like that. We then pop the swab back in the tube so it's secure.
Tell the patient what they should expect during testing procedure. Have them start by blowing their nose if they have excess secretions. Ask the patient to tilt their head back slightly and close their eyes to help alleviate discomfort. Place your non-dominant hand behind the patient's head to keep the head still. Hold the swab like a pencil closer to the break point so that the shaft of the swab does not bend. Insert the swab into the right nostril, angling the swab slightly up and out so that it is directed toward the outer cheekbone, just below the outer corner of the eye. This way, the swab will reach the top of the mid portion of the lower nasal turbinate toward the middle meatus. The swab should be inserted approximately 2 to 2.5 centimeters, just less than half the distance to the red line or break point. Rotate the swab for 5 seconds in this location along the side wall of the patient's nose. Try not to rotate the swab along the septum or middle wall of the patient's nose. Repeat this procedure in the opposite nostril using the same swab. Place the tip of the swab into the viral transport media tube and cut off the applicator stick.
It's important for cattle of all ages to be protected against respiratory disease. Enforce 3 intranasal vaccine protects against 3 key viral causes of respiratory disease. Proper administration is the first step in effective protection. Let's begin with a syringe and vaccine that has been mixed according to the label instructions. Insert the needle into the rubber stopper of the mixed vaccine bottle. Fill the syringe with vaccine. Remove the needle from the syringe and replace with a cannula. Be sure to handle the cannula only by the collar to prevent contamination. The cannula allows for proper placement of the vaccine in the nasal cavity. Switching to a new cannula between cattle will minimize the chance of spreading disease through the process of vaccination. The dosage for Enforce 3 is not dependent on the size of the animal. Therefore, all animals, regardless of weight, should be given a 2 milliliter dose into one nostril. Enforce 3 can also be administered with a pump-it device by placing a mixed 50-dose bottle in the slot and pulling the grip up to administer the vaccine. Enforce 3 is an intranasal vaccine. Properly restraining the animal's head and neck is key to successful administration. For larger cattle, it is important that the animal is first properly restrained in a head gate or chute. Use the cannula or pump-it device to give the animal 2 milliliters of Enforce 3 in a single nostril. Be sure to use a new cannula for each animal to prevent the spread of pathogens.
It's good news for parents. Starting in 2014, the NHS will be offering the new flu vaccine to all 2 to 17-year-olds. And even better news, the vaccine is a nasal spray, not a jab. At the moment, only children in at-risk groups get the flu vaccine, like those with asthma, heart conditions, cerebral palsy and so on. But protecting more children against flu is going to have huge benefits. The children themselves will be protected, of course, but so will those around them. Research suggests that even if under half of all children are immunised against seasonal flu, there will be 11,000 fewer hospital admissions a year and 2,000 fewer deaths. And that's because children are so very good at spreading around flu virus. The nasal spray contains an attenuated virus, in other words, a weakened form of the flu virus. The virus in the vaccine cannot invade the body, but it does make the immune system produce antibodies to real flu. The virus strains are going to be tweaked every year so that children can get the best protection from the flu strains that are most likely to strike that year. Because the vaccine is given into the nostrils, mild side effects like sore throat or runny nose can occur. Now, the spray has been used in the US for a number of years under the name Flu Mist, and it has a good safety profile. It's likely to be even more effective than the injectable vaccine, at least for this age group. And because it's easy and pain-free to give, I hope that most parents will think it's a really good idea.